All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
Remember when Katt Williams said 2025 would be the year everything gets exposed? Well, look around, because that call is aging real fast. Christmas just passed, that Diddy documentary dropped, and now the internet is in full meltdown mode with timelines spinning non-stop. People are buzzing about 7 alleged recordings that supposedly show Diddy involved in some extremely questionable after-hours situations with well-known rappers. And the chatter is everywhere right now. And no, this isn't basic party footage or random backstage clips. These recordings are being described as way more intense and deeply unsettling than anything fans expected. Stay locked in, because what's being discussed online right now is the kind of stuff that leaves people stunned and replaying it in their heads. This is exactly why you clicked this video, because we're breaking down the 7 rappers allegedly linked to these recordings tied to Diddy's infamous private events. Believe me, some of these names are going to hit you sideways. When I first heard the rumors floating around, my reaction was straight disbelief, like pause, everything type shock. In this video, you'll hear limited audio snippets that are considered safe for this platform. See the clips and receipts people keep reposting, and finally understand why social media can't stop talking about this situation right now. By the time this video wraps, it'll be clear why Katt Williams' prediction is starting to feel way too accurate. What once sounded like wild talk is now lining up piece by piece in real time, right in front of everyone.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
But before we name names, you've got to understand the backstory, because without that context, none of what follows will fully click. Back then, a lot of people brushed Katt off, saying he was just being dramatic again. But looking at how things are unfolding now, it's hard not to admit he might have been seeing something others ignored. So let's break down what these so-called freakoffs are actually being described as. According to federal filings and multiple civil cases, Diddy allegedly hosted highly controlled, invite-only gatherings that went far beyond standard celebrity parties. These events reportedly involved questionable substances, intense pressure, and strict rules. And here's the part that really set the internet off. Many claim portions were secretly recorded. Now that you've got the foundation, it's time to get into the 7 names, and fair warning, some of this info might sit heavy. Kicking things off with the most talked about name, Meek Mill. When the alleged audio involving Meek and Diddy started circulating, the reaction online was instant disbelief. And honestly, I was shocked too, like genuinely caught off guard. So there's this audio clip that went viral online, and yeah, I can only play a tiny portion of it because the rest is absolutely not YouTube friendly at all. I'm serious. Anything more than that would cross the line instantly. That short clip alone had the internet spinning, and honestly, it already says enough.
Lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody
crazy.
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
If you're really curious, people claim the full version is floating around on TikTok and Reddit forums. But fair warning, folks say it's extremely out there. Now here's the thing. This audio didn't just appear out of thin air. A lot of people online believe there's context that makes it feel more believable. Remember that poolside video where Diddy is casually talking to Meek, laughing it up like nothing's off?
Puffy would say, man, you gotta chill. Like, you just a little bit too intense. You know, you gotta relax. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, like banging on this man as though, you know, I am the manager. I am the spokesperson for Usher. And I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there. You got Craig Mack in there. You're gonna make me a priority too. I'm not here to party with you. I don't wanna go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? I think as a kid, I realized, hey, look, that's not my ring. That's not my moment. That's not my bottle. That's not my drink. That's not my celebration. So I'm not here to celebrate. I wanted people to be excited about me the way that they were excited about him. I wanted my own success.
Listen closely to that clip. Diddy literally calls Meek daddy, saying things like, you deserve it, you put in that work, proud of you, and I love you.
He'd been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there, but you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest, he took Justin Bieber there.
Now, I don't know about you, but that's definitely not how I talk to my close friends. Maybe that's just me, but it raised eyebrows everywhere. And then it gets even stranger. Diddy reportedly threw Meek a huge 27th birthday celebration at the Parisian Palace in Vegas. They were wearing matching outfits, moving in sync, and the whole vibe looked over the top wild. People who claimed they were there said the place was absolutely wrecked by morning, with broken glass everywhere, a total mess left behind, and signs the night went way too far. According to those same stories, the scene was pure chaos. Now here's where things really heat up. As soon as that audio started spreading, Meek rushed online trying to shut it down fast. He claimed it was AI generated, blamed bots, and said there was a coordinated effort to damage his name. He even posted, "My voice is so powerful as a black man from the streets they wanted silence worldwide. I'm a real king, straight out the trenches, under control of no human." Strong words for sure, but the internet wasn't convinced at all, and here's why. An alleged security guard later stepped forward saying he personally recorded the audio. He claimed he heard noises coming from inside, pressed his phone near the door, and captured what he could. He described things that definitely can't be repeated here, and that only made people talk even more. Then things got messier when Jaguar Wright jumped in and turned the heat way up. She claimed Meek's ex, Nicki Minaj, paid the guard and planned the leak herself. According to her, the recording came from a private event in Calabasas and had been saved for the right moment. Meek later offered $100,000 to anyone who could investigate and clear his name. Big money, big confidence, right? But then nothing happened. No follow-up, no public results, no updates at all. And online, silence after bold promises usually doesn't play well. Shortly after, Meek suddenly started distancing himself and aligning with the no Diddy crowd. But by then, the narrative was already set. And next up is Usher, and this part matters because he came first. He was the blueprint before everything else unfolded. When Usher was just 13 years old, L.A. Reid arranged for him to live with Diddy for a year in something called Puffy Flavor Camp. Even the name sounds wild looking back, but at the time, nobody questioned it. Now listen closely to what Usher later said about that experience in an interview with Howard Stern. When asked, Usher admitted there were very curious things taking place that he didn't fully understand back then, and that single comment alone has people rethinking everything.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. This is a special birthday for both.
Usher was only 13 years old, and he's described being around non-stop party energy, adult conversations, and situations that clearly weren't meant for someone that young. He even hinted at witnessing moments that felt romantic in tone, which already raises serious questions. During that interview, the host asked if he had money, and Usher casually said he was getting per diem. At 13 years old, what kid even needs per diem money like that? When the interviewer followed up and asked if Usher would ever send his own kids to Puffy Flavor Camp, he didn't pause for even a second. He straight up said no, and that response alone speaks volumes. That reaction wasn't joking. It was firm, and it said more than any long explanation ever could. But here's where the story gets even heavier. Usher didn't just experience this environment himself.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher.
Fresh off the guard stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen.
We're having a good time, yo. Your Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Fuck that mic. I'm a thug. At the end of the day, nigga, I kill niggas, man. No, listen, at the end of the day, I kill niggas. Everybody know me, man. Listen, in the streets, Diddy's there this weekend.
Years later, he introduced Justin Bieber to Diddy. Let that sink in for a second. Usher went through what he went through as a kid, yet another young artist ended up in the same circle afterward. And there's another interview where Usher talks about working with Diddy while still a teenager. He said he was knocking on Diddy's door at 13, begging to work and focus on music. He made it clear he wasn't there to party, wasn't trying to be in clubs, and wasn't even old enough to be in those spaces in the first place.
Hart took $50 million to unversion his whole.
Can you explain a little bit?
No, I just told you.
Usher explained he was being pulled into an adult world he didn't belong in, when all he wanted was to build his career. That kind of pressure on a kid is heavy, no matter how famous they become later. Now here's the part that really shook people online. Jaguar Wright later claimed that Usher was used as a bridge to give Diddy access to Justin Bieber. According to her, Diddy had been trying to get close to Justin for a long time, but Justin's team kept blocking it. Then Usher stepped in, took over management duties, received temporary guardianship, and allegedly passed that guardianship to Diddy for 48 hours. 48 hours is a long time when we're talking about a teenager. What makes people uncomfortable is that Usher himself had previously needed medical attention after being around Diddy, yet Justin was still placed in that situation. Now let's talk about Justin Bieber, because this part is genuinely sad. Justin was just 15 years old when that temporary guardianship happened. There's actual video of Diddy talking about it, saying they were going to have 48 hours together and that what they'd be doing couldn't be disclosed, but it was supposedly a teenager's dream.
DBJ should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Should I keep going?
You're hitting it off.
Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Off of Justin Bieber alone.
Now, Carisha and Rick Ross just sat down together. At the end of
I know. Two Diddy doo-wop bops. What a reason.
Hey.
Only thing they gotten.
Justin then responds casually, saying they should go meet girls. At the time, people brushed it off as celebrity talk, but looking back now, it feels deeply inappropriate. That kind of conversation between an adult and a teen should never happen, and that's why so many people are disturbed now. The impact on Justin later became visible. In 2020, he released the song Lonely, where he sings about being seen as struggling and feeling like nobody truly cared. That's not just lyrics, that's pain coming from a real place. He also shared an emotional message saying it was hard being that young in the industry, not knowing who to trust, and feeling abandoned by people who claimed they cared. He said he never wants his wife to experience anything similar to what he went through, and that alone tells you how deep those scars run. Justin clearly went through something heavy, and hearing him talk about protecting the people he loves now is the part that really hits hard. Recently, Justin quietly unfollowed almost everyone tied to his early career, and people noticed immediately. Usher gone, Scooter Braun gone, clean slate. It looks like he's cutting ties with anyone who failed to protect him when he needed guidance the most. And honestly, that move makes total sense. According to people close to him, the last thing Justin wants right now is to revisit or publicly discuss his complicated connection with Diddy. Behind the scenes, Justin has reportedly started opening up to close friends about how difficult that chapter of his life really was. He's processing long-term emotional weight tied to experiences from when he was still a kid, and that's the part that hits hardest. He didn't choose that environment, didn't fully understand what he was stepping into, and didn't have the power to walk away at that age. Justin was a child placed into adult situations with expectations he couldn't grasp at the time, and that lack of protection left deep marks. Now that he's older, he's clearly trying to protect his peace and avoid reopening old wounds, and nobody can blame him for that. Now let's shift to Lil Rod, also known as Rodney Jones because his name is at the center of many of these recording rumors right now. He's a producer and rapper who filed a major civil lawsuit against Diddy in February 2024, and the claims outlined in those documents are shocking to say the least. According to Lil Rod, private gatherings were allegedly recorded without guests fully understanding what was happening. He claims to possess hundreds of hours of recorded material as evidence. Hundreds of hours! Just think about how many people could be involved if that claim holds weight. That alone is why this story keeps gaining attention online. What really stands out is how Lil Rod described getting pulled into that environment in the first place. He explained that in the music industry, success often depends on getting a cosign from a powerful gatekeeper. Names like Puff, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, or 50 Cent were described as industry keys, and without their approval, doors stay closed. As an upcoming producer, Lil Rod felt pressure to stay in Puff's circle to survive professionally. That meant going along with the culture around him, even when it didn't feel right. According to his claims, studio sessions often involved non-stop drinking, constant party energy, and unspoken expectations. Saying no wasn't really an option if you wanted to stay included. He also referenced concerns about drinks possibly being altered, echoing public comments made by Aubrey O'Day in the past. Lil Rod claimed that after having a drink, his memory became unclear for hours, and he later woke up feeling physically uncomfortable and confused. He stated he couldn't fully recall what happened, but felt certain boundaries had been crossed. That kind of experience can leave someone feeling deeply shaken, especially when power dynamics are involved. Lil Rod claimed he felt stuck because he was working on the Love album, hadn't been paid, and hadn't received proper credit. Walking away meant risking his entire future in the industry. He described feeling pressured to endure everything just to get a foot in the door. According to the lawsuit, Puff allegedly sought out ambitious people, willing to tolerate anything for opportunity. And when he found them, he took advantage of that desperation. That's how power imbalance situations often play out. Next up is French Montana, and while there's no leaked recording involving him, speculation has followed closely. French Montana was signed to Bad Boy Records and became extremely close with Diddy. Same trips, same parties, same inner circle, non-stop appearances together. Fans have pointed out that their body language in photos and videos seemed unusually familiar for two people labeled as just friends. The closeness sparked conversations online that never really died down. And that brings us to the infamous birthday video that everyone keeps referencing. Let me show you exactly what people are talking about. So here's the moment that had everyone side-eyeing hard. French is shirtless, covered in oil, while Diddy is singing "Happy Birthday, Dear Friend" right to him. I don't know about you, but that scene feels like way too much. Why is he shirtless? Why is he oiled up? And why is the energy looking that intense? The whole thing comes off awkward, uncomfortable, and honestly unnecessary. Diddy showed French clear favoritism over the years. He even named a vodka flavor French vanilla after him. He brought him everywhere, pushed him heavy, and treated him more like family than an artist. And for years, people in the culture have whispered that that bad boy deal wasn't exactly free. Allegedly, French's rise came with expectations attached, career boosts in exchange for loyalty behind closed doors. If you catch the drift, French has publicly defended Diddy in the past, no hesitation. But when the recent legal headlines surfaced, French went completely silent. And in moments like this, silence speaks loud. Now let's talk about Kevin Hart. He's not a rapper, but he's deep in rap culture, does battle-style comedy, and he's been extremely close with both Diddy and Usher for years, so people definitely include him in the conversation. First, there's that strange old video of Kevin and his brother joking about wrestling over Frosted Flakes. At the time, it sounded like goofy humor, but watching it now, the context feels off. Back then, people laughed. But today, folks are asking different questions. Back in 2010, Kevin was under scrutiny for allegedly hosting events connected to Diddy. Reporters tried pressing him about whether he ever noticed anything strange at those infamous private gatherings. Kevin played it smooth, dodged the questions, and acted genuinely confused. But here's the thing. We've all seen that footage of Kevin holding a giant mic, yelling and hyping the crowd at Diddy's party. So people feel like he definitely knows more than he lets on. Kevin hasn't addressed the resurfaced party clips at all, and that has people wondering, if he knows something, why stay quiet now? And if he doesn't, why avoid the topic completely? Then Orlando Brown added more fuel by making a bold claim involving Kevin. When asked to explain, Orlando simply said, "I already told you," and refused to elaborate. Orlando has made wild statements before, but he's also been right enough times that people aren't brushing this off. And last but not least, we have Mace. There's no confirmed claim that Diddy did anything to him, but some footage has raised eyebrows. In one music video clip, while filming is happening, Diddy appears to sneak behind Mace in a way that looks strange and uncomfortable. Mace recently broke his silence, saying, "I'm saving my takes for the documentary. If you're wondering how I feel, it's coming soon." He didn't say which documentary, but that alone got people talking. On a recent episode of It Is What It Is, they discussed how Mace appeared on CNN to address Diddy's 2016 situation involving Cassie. Mace said he felt frustrated because while he was asked about allegations, nobody cared to ask about the positive business plans he and Cam had lined up. That frustration was clear, and the tension is far from over. Here's the thing about Mace, and this part always makes people pause. He's been around Diddy for a very long time, seen the rise, seen the behind-the-scenes moments, and somehow still says almost nothing. That silence feels loud. People keep asking the same question over and over. What does Diddy have that keeps Mace so quiet? For years, there's been a belief floating around that Mace is either being protected or pressured to stay silent. Including him in documentaries or deep dives would instantly raise uncomfortable questions about why he never fully speaks up. It would make people start wondering what kind of leverage still exists behind the scenes. That's one of the reasons people say figures like 50 Cent chose to leave Mace completely out of the conversation. Not because he's irrelevant, but because bringing him in would open doors nobody seems ready to walk through yet. And here's another thing. Diddy's connections allegedly stretch way beyond just these 7 names. According to Jaguar Wright, this situation is much bigger than most people realize. She's been speaking openly about it for years, long before it was trending. When you look at the list she's mentioned, it paints a picture of something much deeper. Multiple industry figures were allegedly aware, involved, or at least looked the other way. That's why people say the protection system runs deep and why so many stories stayed buried for so long. Katt Williams even said it himself. Diddy wasn't the top of the ladder, just a piece in a much bigger machine. The real question is, who was actually calling the shots? Who allowed this behavior? Who shielded it? And who helped keep everything quiet? Until those higher level players are exposed, many believe real change won't happen. That's the uncomfortable truth people are starting to wrestle with now. So there you have it, the 7 recordings, the names, and the allegations that have completely taken over the internet. Katt Williams said the truth would come out. And whether you believe everything or not, it's hard to ignore how much has surfaced. Now I want to hear from you. Which name surprised you the most? Do you think these recordings are real? Or do you believe they're being manipulated or fabricated? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really read them all. If you want to stay tapped in as this story continues to unfold, make sure you like, subscribe to ScarFame, comment, and share this video so others can join the discussion. More information may surface, more names could come out, and when that happens, you'll want to be right here. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.